Good morning, Gambia and beyond. You are welcome to the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. Today, Friday, 12? Yeah. It's today the 12th? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, of September 2025. We invited you to this session with a view to informing our fellow citizens the developments that happened recently in relation to this circular migration agreement and its implementation, which is domiciled in this ministry, that I believe and my team believes the Gambian people need to be informed what happened. I'm with the Permanent Secretary, Mr. MOTIE Seka. The Commissioner of Labor is Mr. Nyalo Barrow. The Director of Employment in the ministry is Mr. Faba Jami. Also have Usman Sane, who is Principal Economist, Labor Officer, Principal Labor Officer at the Commission. We are here to engage with the media because we recognize the role you play in information dissemination. And as we are the custodians of this agreement and its implementation, we owe it to the public to come out and explain, piece together what happened over the last 2 months during our implementation. A brief journey down memory road. When the Prime Minister of Spain visited the Gambia, Gambia and Spain signed this agreement, circular migration, which required the Gambia to identify some of her citizens who will be taken to Spain through this agreement to work seasonally, return to the Gambia when the seasons end, but also get recalled back to Spain for a period of 4 years, during which, as part of our contribution, the ministry would facilitate the process of identifying those citizens of the Gambia who would go to Spain and work in mainly agriculture, in the farms, in the fields, in the plantations. And we have done that. The first batch of 39 people left this country about 2 months ago, went to Spain. We expected them to work for 3 months, thereabout, after which they would return to the Gambia, await another request by farmers in Spain for them to go back as part of a pilot project. This is the pilot phase that we just started. Initially, that pilot was supposed to be for 50 people. Back and forth, we ended up with 350, which we thank the Kingdom of Spain for, particularly those that facilitated the negotiations for the number to be raised. So this year, Gambia was supposed to send a minimum of 350 people, depending on whether there is work in Spain for them to be engaged. Now, the Spanish employers who would ferry them, we are responsible for providing them air tickets after the selection process was done, which was also done in conjunction with the Embassy of Spain in Dakar, as well as the farmers themselves in Spain through video conference interviews. Now, the first batch of 117 people were interviewed, and out of that, 1/3 of them were recruited, 39. And these people left this country 2 months ago. Now, after 1 month, I think after the first payment was made, we got the first disturbing news that 3 of them had absconded. They could not be traced by the farmers, could not be traced by our embassy, could not be traced by their colleagues themselves who were still at the farm. As if that was just the tip of the iceberg. At the end of the 2nd month, we got information that the boys were supposed to return. By the way, they were all boys. Boys from across the country, because we had representatives from all the regions. There were people selected from North Bank, from LRR, from CRR North and South, from URR, from West Coast, and even from Greater Banjul. So each of the regions was represented in Spain. Like I said earlier, at the end of the 2nd month when they were paid, they were informed that they were returning for the 1st cycle, because this is circular. When they are required to work, they are taken. When the job is done, they come back. When they are required again, they go. So this was supposed to be a cycle process, a process. Unfortunately, their tickets were purchased. A date was booked for them to return. When the day came, we realized we've lost another 30. Well, we lost another 26, making 30 or 29, 33. 33 total. So it was another 30 plus the 3 earlier, making 33, which, well, actually signaled signs of a problem. These 33 are still expected to remain good to their agreements that they signed with the Gambia government and the people of the Gambia, as well as their employers in Spain. Because the conditions attached to the agreement include that if they fail to return to the Gambia, then the agreement in general is being thrown into jeopardy. We were hoping that with 3 of them gone, we could still go back and mend fences and see if the 30 returned, whether we could revive the process of getting other Gambians to go. I'm saying that because, as I speak, another 40, 50, another 50 are in the pipeline. They have been interviewed and selected. The process of securing their visas was already on. So those who have disappeared had started also a process of securing permanency to stay in Europe after 4 years. So these 50 currently risk not going to Spain. The 30 that are already, 33 that are in Spain and are not presenting themselves for return, by the way, they have their passports, they have their air tickets, according to my information. They are in Spain with their passports, with their air tickets, which currently are invalid. Because they were supposed to return, and the date of return has now gone. Meaning, they are now supposed to bring themselves back, which is making it even harder. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that 1 or 2 of them said, all right, let me visit a relative before I go. And then they overstayed their visa or their tickets have expired. Coming back has become harder. Instead of returning on a free ticket, now they are required to pay their tickets back home, which makes it even more difficult for me to convince myself that they are ready to come. Now, what we are trying to communicate to the Gambia is that a very good scheme that has worked in many countries, including our closest neighbors, that Gambia was given as a lifeline to serve as an alternative to people risking their lives, particularly the youth, but now including women. We have seen pregnant women dying on the beaches. We have seen babies being flushed out of the oceans by waves because they attempted to go to Spain and other European countries. By the way, we all know that Spain belongs to the European Union, which is a bloc of European countries. 27 of them? 28, something like that. I'm sure you know that more than I do. So governments went through this, not for any reason, but to ensure that the inevitable, because migration, labor mobility, we all know, is inevitable. We have Indian workers in the Gambia. We have Chinese workers in the Gambia. We have British workers in the Gambia. American workers in the Gambia. Labor moves. That's a natural phenomenon. So also we have Gambian workers all over the world. As this is inevitable, government felt it was necessary to work with Spain and other friendly countries to provide Gambian people a safe pathway to migrate and work as laborers in countries where their skills and labor or strength are required. That is currently threatened. If it is not going to happen with Spain again, we are currently having offers from Poland and other countries in Europe. If Spain is not going to allow this to continue, the tendency is we may not be able to proceed with those other countries. But this was supposed to be, an overflow into other countries, because we know that there are several countries in the world today where labor requirements supersede the labor force of those countries. As a result, they need other countries' labor force to, if you like, cede labor to them. This is a natural phenomenon. It has been happening for ages. So this is the reason we invited you, for you to disseminate this. Those whose children are in Spain and have decided not to return or are delaying their return, let's put it this way, should understand that we are risking spoiling a great opportunity, terminating prematurely a great opportunity for several families in this Gambia, in this country, to enjoy a possibility of their children being a member of circular migration to Spain. Let me say, by the way, that the second batch we are processing contains 10 women. 21 women. So this was evolving and developing. And if we had gone through and I still believe and pray that we go through the pilot phase, the next level will be determined by the amount of labor required by the Spanish economy and the labor force that the Gambia was able to provide. In other words, we know countries where up to 20,000 workers would cross the Mediterranean annually now, go into Spain and work and return to their country because they have been given that permanent residential status, having respected the 4-year, iteration between Spain and their country. So, fellow countrymen, ladies and gentlemen, this is the message we wanted to share with you. I'm sure you will have questions for clarification. I may not know all the answers, but my technical team is here. If you want further clarification, this will be done. But I should make this pronouncement very loud and clear. If they do not come, the Spanish authorities, the European Union, and the Gambia government will continue to pursue and find them, and if possible, repatriate them back to the Gambia. But the consequences would be far-reaching, because we would have lost an opportunity for all of us to eventually go to Spain and work and return to the Gambia at will. I thank you very much for your kind attention.